Hey there, boys. Welcome back to the Fantasy Sports Review Weather Center. It's me, Nikki Grant, and I'm so excited to be back here and ready to help you guys enjoy the long ride through the 2011 edition of the NFL Fantasy Football season. This season's going to be jam-packed with bigger, badder, and sexier than ever weather from the hottest weather bunny reporting in the NFL. And in case you missed it or you just want to see my cute little face one more time, come by fantasyreview.com for all your NFL weather needs. Now let's kick off this fantasy football season the right way with me. The NFL has teed up a beauty of a first game that pits the last two Super Bowl champs and top fantasy teams, New Orleans Saints and Green Bay Packers, against each other. This battle will happen in Green Bay at Lambeau Field, the perfect place to start any season. Weather in the Bay for the game will be totally amazing with clear skies and temps in the low 60s. Here in D.C., after an exciting and winning preseason, we're all excited to see what our own Washington Redskins can do. They have been dealt the opening day hand, as we like to refer to as the New York Giants. Yes, we can't stand these little shits, but we have to play them twice a year. Always a tough game for us, and the weather could be a little tricky, as there's a chance of afternoon thunderstorms. So watch out for those thunder boomers. The other home team here is the Baltimore Ravens, who get their fierce division foe, the Pittsburgh Steelers, for the opening day matchup. A win here by either team certainly sets them off on the right path for a successful season. Expect a field goal to be the difference, as Mother Nature has a mind of her own and will be offering up some afternoon storms for the evening. The state of Florida hosts two opening weekend games this week, as the Jacksonville Jaguars play host to one of their divisional foes this week, the Tennessee Titans. The loser of this game will definitely be getting a leg up on the competition for the last place in the AFC South. The other flirting game features one of the most overrated teams in the NFL, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Trust me, boys, these guys were a fringe playoff team last year. Everyone's getting their panties in a bunch for Josh Freeman, Mike Williams, and LeGarrette Blount. But look at me very carefully. These guys suck. I don't write my own lines, clearly. They were the beneficiaries of one of the weakest schedules the NFL has ever produced last year and couldn't even parlay that into a playoff spot. They definitely will not this year either. Both these games in Florida have threats of thunderstorms and warm weather. If you're going to Tampa, make sure you drop into the Mons Venus, order a lap dance, and tell them Nikki sent you. Sometimes I do write my own lines. The up-and-coming St. Louis Rams are going to be tested to the max against Michael Vick and his big fat-ass $100 million contract and the rest of the Philadelphia Eagles. This will be a brutally tough game, but man, would it be great to see St. Louis clip those Eagle wings. The other dome game is the Arizona Cardinals playing host to the Carolina Panthers in a battle of two of the worst teams in the NFL. No weather issues to report on this one, except probably some wicked heat for those of you out there tailgating. Hydrate. I recommend Jack and Diet with a Jaeger back. Rounding out this week for the weather games, you fellas will be loving it here if you're heading out to Houston, San Fran, or Kansas City, as all these games are expected to have perfect football weather. The Chiefs will host the Buffalo Bills, but will be without their signal caller, Matt Castle, as he recovers from a cracked rib. The Texans will host the Indianapolis Colts, who will be without top NFL stud and cutie pie Peyton Manning, as they try to figure out what the heck to do with his neck injury. The 49ers will host NFC West divisional opponents, the Seattle Seahawks, in perfect San Francisco weather. Let's see some great things out of Frank Gore in this one. If you're heading out to Cleveland for the Battle of Ohio, you might get a little wet as the Bengals come to town, but a little rain never hurt anyone. Again, fashion tip for you ladies, you might want to stay away from the white t-shirts. And a big game in Chicago as the Bears and Falcons battle it out. A little bit of a chance of some rain here, but the temps will be absolutely effing perfect otherwise. Picture perfect weather in New York for the Jets and Cowboys game, which features the two Ryan brothers coaching it out against each other. Expect their father Buddy to be somewhere in the stadium or watching on TV. And weird weather for this weekend, we actually have a strange shot for a fog bowl in San Diego. It's still pretty early to tell, but the models I've been looking at recently, and no, I'm not talking about Ryan Murphy, showed a trend towards some very foggy conditions this weekend out in San Diego as Phillip Rivers and the Chargers play host to the Minnesota Vikings. For the first half of the doubleheader on Monday, we have Dolphins hosting the Patriots in warm temps with a small chance of some straggling showers. But since the game is at night, those chances are slightly diminished. And shooting over to Denver for the big AFC West battle between Denver and Oakland, you will have perfect weather yet again in the Mile High City. Denver is the city that boasts over 300 days of sunshine a year, but not always the same Arkansas sunshine we have grown to love here on Fantasy Sports Review. That'll do it for the NFL Week 1 weather report. I'm about out of breath, and I'm sure you are after wrapping up a fantasy draft. Good luck to all of you this weekend in your fantasy games. I hope you all win big and have all of your players score 2 touchdowns and double-digit fantasy points, whatever the hell that means. If you missed any of the weather or just want to see me again, look me up on the web at www.fantasyreview.com. Great to see you guys again, and now back to Phil and Robbie in the studio.